To me, it is a milestone I set for myself when I was a student here.
For me, it was very natural because I had done a lot of practice and I knew I could do it.
The Certified Master Baker exam, it is a very rigorous exam. The test is run by the Retail Bakers of America. The judges for this exam are experienced certified master bakers themselves.
It's very detailed. Every aspect counts from how you cut it to how you bake it to how you garnish it to how you weigh it.
The cleaner you work, the more organized you can be upstairs, and then vice versa, that works as well. The more organized you are up here, the better chance you have of making a good, clean product. So it assesses how clean your station is. It says a lot about what kind of pastry chef you are.
A few months before, you have to take some online testing to reach an entry form. And then the first one is a very demanding mathematic test questionnaire on a lot of hypotheses and also baker's percentage and what ifs. It's a situation where if you do not pass that, you cannot walk into the bake shop to start your actual production over there. Once you are actually in the bake shop, you are making 14 different products and ranges over 2 days, and those products have to be within a very specific weight range. If they're any bit under that weight range, you fail the exam.
I think the Master Baker's exam is an assessment of your skill, technique, creativity, accuracy, all of those things that we try our best to, as instructors, teach the students and instill in them from day one.
So there's very strong sanitation requirements, there's very strong technical, and also you need to know the theory behind your products. You have to understand the science behind your product. So you'll be questioned about temperatures, times, frictions, gluten development.
So the judges were literally right over my shoulder, looking at everything I had, looking at my formula book, looking at my station. So I had to make sure that my station was exponentially clean. And that's also, I had a lot of students watching me as well too, so I wanted to show them exactly how I'm working is how I expect them to work as well.
The fine details that the judges are looking for in the Certified Master Baker exam is they're looking for very specific traits and characteristic of a particular product. So they're looking for exactness in the items that you're presenting. So they all should look exactly the same. Whether it's 2 or if it's a dozen or if it's 2 dozen, they have to be all exact in there. But to keep it a level playing field, all the candidates are producing mostly everything exactly the same. So we're judging apples with apples.
It is amazing the details they go into though on stuff like this.
So it was a lot of mental and physical preparation. We did a lot of, myself and my coworkers, we did a lot of run-throughs, full run-throughs on the weekends. So we would teach Monday through Friday.
I mean, for the 3 months before, I trained on individual items. And then the last month, every weekend, I would come in and do full runs. So I would try and schedule it just like the exam. So, it's a 2-day exam. So I'd come in Saturday, just like a prep day, then I would come in Sunday and then finish everything off. And I would time myself just to make sure I could, achieve everything in the time frame they gave us.
The preparation for it was more to get the muscle memory, to understand the weights, to understand each and every formula, to make sure we had the correct amount and no excess for waste, because the judges would take off points for waste. So we wanted to make sure we had the accurate amount of cake batter, accurate amount of muffin batter, so there was no waste. So we would get points off on that. Doing the practice runs was probably more stressful than the event itself. That was what was driving me the most wild, is making sure I don't go overweight, making sure I eat the correct weight, and make sure I'm not under. But when I was actually in the actual exam, I was comfortable. So when I was a student here, I believe it was 2011 or 2012, they had the Master Baker's exam here. So I was here the entire weekend watching my instructors and the other fellow chefs that came in to take the exam too, and I was mesmerized about everything they were doing. And as I said that point, I want to take this exam at some point. So every point in my career, I've been training, essentially training to be able to be a candidate to take this exam, which is the pinnacle of performance for baking and pastry chefs.
The Retail Bakers Association has a lot of different levels of certifications. You know, there's journeyman baker, there's like a certified cake decorator, master cake decorator, like there's other things. And I think training like that is very valuable. So like, I mean, I encourage any student or professional to kind of go through things like this. It's kind of uncomfortable when you do it. But you know, again, the experience pays off in the end.
While you're a student here, soak everything up, right? Everything that I learned here helped me on that exam day. There were some things that went wrong on the day that I wasn't expecting, but because of my training, because of my intuitiveness, I understood exactly what I needed to do. I did it, and just there were no questions asked. I just kept moving. I didn't wallow on, oh, I made this mistake. What do I do? I knew exactly what to do, and I did it, and it worked out, and I passed. So it's a message to the students that don't give up. Always keep learning and keep growing, and don't ever stop.
And I need to make sure that when I speak to my students that they realize it's not a 2 or 3 or 4 year commitment that you're working for. This is something where to be a master, you need to put in the decades of work to be a true master.
But it's really not so much about the letters or being able to say that. It's kind of the experience of going through it and what it does for you as a professional.